What am I no longer available for? What clearly isn't working anymore? What decision have I been delaying? Because the eclipse season is incredible for ending misaligned offers, releasing draining clients, clarifying direction, initiating those bold moves that you've been wanting to make, and it's time to do them. So it's not a passive year, it's a decide year, it's an initiate year. It's asking us to step into our leadership. That's the energy. Allow it to move through you.
As a season ends and one season begins, there was endings, clearing, and finalizing stuff, or letting go of things that didn't serve.
Welcome to today's episode of Business Growth Lab. I'm your co-host, Samantha Riley, alongside my partner in crime, Leon. I had to say it, Leon, partner in crime. Hadn't said it for a couple of weeks.
Just criminal turning up for a weekly podcast.
Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different, but before we jump into it, actually, you've got the question. You're gonna have to take over.
Well, this is probably a bit of a what we don't know about. Well, sorry, what the audience doesn't know about us. But what's your most least favorite food?
Oh my goodness, this is so easy, isn't it? So easy. Yeah.
Well, I think you've got two, but I think what's your least favorite?
Bananas.
Insert gagging noise here.
It's a food that I'm so jealous that other people like it, because it's just, it comes in its own lunchbox. You just have to peel it and eat it. And it's, full of nutrients and vitamins and minerals, and it stinks. I can't handle bananas. I used to hate it so much that when my kids came to dancing, I didn't ban bananas. I'm not that horrible. But if there was a banana, you had to go eat it outside on your lunch break. Like, don't come near me.
Miss Sam, bananas outside.
Yeah. So there you go. Now you know something about me.
Yeah.
I'm jealous that other people like the fruit in a lunchbox. How about you, Leon? Actually, I don't even know what it is for you.
Well, look, there is one, and I don't know if you're a favorite of this one either. Oysters. Just no. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I'm a no. No on oysters.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. To be true, I've never actually eaten one. I just can't do it. Let's go, nope. It's like, it's not in a shell. Let's not eat that.
Can I tell you a story? I think you know this, Leon, but this was like many, many years before we met you. And I would have only been, I think, maybe my late 20s. And my husband and I at that time decided that we'd go to a really fancy restaurant, get the kids looked after for the night, get all dressed up, go out on the town. And we went into, I think it was like the Hyatt or something. It was like, beautiful 5-star hotel that had the restaurant in it. And it was a seafood buffet. And I actually really love seafood, mostly. But there's certain seafood that I don't, but I'd never tried an oyster. So I got an oyster off the buffet and put it in. But, no one had told me that you just meant to swallow oysters. And I put it in my mouth with my super fancy dress on and bit down on it at the exact moment that I'll never forget. Oh my goodness, now I've really got the giggles. The guy at the next table looked me right in the eye, and he could see by my face exactly what had just happened. Well, he didn't break eye contact. So I picked up my very fancy white fabric napkin and pretended to cough in it. And got rid of the oyster anyway. He knew, and we were both cracking up laughing. Lucky he saw the funny side to that. He thought that was hilarious. I was half mortified and half thinking it was the funniest thing ever. But anyway, that's my oyster story.
Yeah, okay. So
I apologize for anyone that
doesn't
like apologize for anyone that doesn't like terrible food stories. Oh my goodness, that was a terrible way to start the show, Leon.
It's
Where
pretty funny.
mostly when people, when we go out with people and they say, "Is there anything you don't like?" Pretty much you and I are like, "Nah, we're cool. We eat anything."
Yep.
We're actually not that bad, but that was a very funny opening.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Oh, well, today we're going to talk about the energy, the current energy that is around us, that is surrounding us, that is a very, very different feeling to how last year felt. Very, very different. If you've been feeling restless, if you have been feeling like you're moving too slowly, you're not imagining it. And that's what we're going to talk about because, well, at the day that this episode airs is the Chinese New Year. So this is the day that the wood snake energy leaves us, that year of shedding. I mean, none of us, I won't say none of us, a lot of us didn't enjoy the energy of last year. But energetically, wood snake has left the room and the fire horse energy has come in. We're in a universal 1 year. Saturn has just moved into Aries. And basically, that means that this is not a sit back and see what happens kind of year. It's a strap yourself in, we are going kind of year. And we've seen this with our clients, haven't we, Leon?
yeah. Yeah. We have definitely, and well, I think felt it. Probably more the point. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It's been very different for us already. And as an Aries, holy moly. I've got Sagittarius rising, like I'm just fire, fire, fire. Which, if anyone knows me, they'll be like, yeah, well, there was absolutely no doubt in my mind that you were all fire. But yeah, before we even go there, I had to really think. See, my brain's already moving so fast. I just want you to know that this isn't going to be like a cosmic fairy dust kind of episode. I'm talking about the energy and then we're going to break it down practically what it means to you, because whether you love the energetics or whether you're just aware of it, or maybe you were like, you used to be Leon, where you're like, the what? The energy forecast? Like, what the is that? Like, whether or not that's
Yeah.
you, it is all around us and it does change the way that we think, the way that we act, like the way we process things, like all of the things. And when you do understand what's happening, the way that I describe it to my clients is like it's like the weather forecast. It's like we can't do anything about it. If you listen to the weather forecast, it's going to rain. It doesn't mean that we can suddenly turn it into summer, but it does mean that we can carry an umbrella. And I think that that's what the energy forecast is like. When we understand what's happening, we can use different tools in our toolbox, or we can act in certain ways that will help us to leverage that and step into it a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I used to say I'm not woo woo, but well, that was after a while of actually hanging around you as well, and actually going, "What are you talking about? Energy forecast?" And I'm not woo woo, but you've really got to wonder, like, you know, you go, "Oh, this is happening in the world, and people are a bit weird today," and you kind of go, "Oh, maybe we should check the energy forecast," and check the energy forecast, and like, "Oh wow, that actually lines up."
It's spot on. Spot on.
It really does. Yeah, yeah,
Because it's real.
yeah.
Because we're
Yeah, it's real.
surrounded by
Yeah,
energy and
yeah,
and it affects us, and it affects the way that we feel and act. I really want to talk about this because the energy is going to, if we can tap into it and really understand what's happening, it's a build year. It's a year to really, I think, put on our grown up business pants, if that makes sense, because we've covered it in an episode with Annette Farha, the Fire Horse Year. It's fast movement, it's boldness, it's about visibility. We've covered the Universal 1 year. That's all around new cycles, fresh starts, and identity shifts. And now that Saturn has moved into Aries, it's like the grown-up CEO energy. That's really what it is. And it's not sexy, it's not flashy, but when it's embraced, it can be wildly profitable. Wildly profitable.
Yeah. I was just going to mention as well, like I know our clients actually like the energy forecast before we move on,
Mhm.
because they do quite often ask for it. You know, if we don't get to it early enough in any of our sessions, so I know they
If
definitely
I
love
forget
hearing
it,
about
yeah,
it.
that's usually the first
Yeah.
question. "Excuse me, what's
They're
the
like,
energy
hang on,
forecast?"
stop.
"Oh, I'm sorry, forgot."
Uh, and you know, not sexy, not flashy. I don't know. I'm a bit more scientific, but I kind of put like a scientific kind of take on the energy, and I go, well, if it's time to build, let's build. Like, so
Yeah, "Let's go."
exactly.
Yeah, because it is all about structure. It's about systems. It's about discipline, responsibility, boundaries, long term stability, mastery. And this Saturn energy is pretty much saying build this properly or rebuild it later under pressure. So,
Hmm.
the reason I wanted to talk about this is because it's just easier to get it done the first time.
Yeah, yeah. I also feel too the universe gives you like the tickle, tickle. If you don't listen, it gives you a big slap. So I
Oh,
think it's one of those cases.
100%. 100%. And we felt that last year with that nine energy, right? Like it would give
Hmm.
us lessons and we would, hang on, instead of let me say me. It gave me a few lessons. I kind of went, "Oh yeah, that's cute." And then by the end of the year, it was just slapping me around the head like with a big like, big brush, like bang. Oh,
Uh,
okay, all right, yeah, Sam,
it
let's
was
get
like a
this
Van
done.
Damme 32 punch combination, you know? Like
That's exactly what it felt like. And it's not very fun. So this Saturn energy, this is a year that rewards action. And it's going to punish hesitation. I said like the energy is like build this property or rebuild it later under pressure. So this is not the year for hesitation. This is a year for just make the decision and do it. I had a mentor, oh gosh, probably no, maybe 12 or 13 years ago. And he used to say to me, blink it. And
Yeah,
what that meant basically was in the moment, I'd be like frozen trying to choose between A or B. And he'd just say, blink it. And the rule was you blink and then you have to just come out with an answer. And it's a blink it year.
yeah. Uh, we talk a bit about, so not a bit, actually, we talk a lot about being in alignment.
Hmm.
And I think it's important because when you come from the right place and you're doing the right things, and I think it shows to the world. So I think that's why it's really important. Um,
Hmm.
what I was kind of thinking now was, well, what are the people kind of feeling at the moment? You know, like what will they be thinking, feeling that they might be out of alignment or not going with the energy enough? Like,
Okay.
would
Phew. I mean, how big is that question? My brain just went in about 50,000 different directions all at once. What they may be feeling, let's go with this first. What they may be feeling is like, I feel like I can't sit still in my business right now. I'm suddenly done with things that maybe I've tolerated for years. Or I know I need to move, but I don't know where to focus. And I think this is really important because there could be a feeling of restlessness, and it isn't instability, it's activation. It's like it's the energy of like just go on it. It's that, okay, blink and trust your gut. You need to stop overthinking it, like stop getting in your head. So this is that alignment piece that you were talking about. I think as children, we're taught to think everything through logically. That's the way that, gosh, it's the way that I was taught. It's the way we're taught at school. Gosh, before I even knew this stuff, it's the way I taught my kids to make decisions, right? But the way that we're meant to make decisions is from the neck down. Our body, depending on what our human design is, gives us different cues to make that decision. You're an emotional authority. I know that you feel a decision very differently to the way I feel a decision as a sacral authority. And I know that's very different. One of our daughters is an ego authority, and the way that she makes decisions is very different again. So it's not how how do I say this? We need to tap in and understand how we're designed to make decisions. What's really interesting, because even as I'm saying this, I'm saying, it's very like blanket energy. It's like make the decision and move. However, yes, it's about making decisions quite quickly, but as an emotional authority, which so much of the population is, that would be, if I told you to blinker and make a decision and it was a big decision right now, that would be like one of the worst things you can do.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you can
Yep.
still make a decision swiftly, if that makes
Yep.
sense.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like in my case, my quick might be 24 hours for blinking. It's like a long blink.
I think actually let me I guess reframe that, because it's not about making the decision quickly. It's once the decision has come in, you can't sit on it. That's probably a
Yep.
better way to
Yeah, yeah.
say it.
Yep.
You can tell I'm an external processor, can't you? I'm thinking it as I'm saying it, but it's about like once that decision has been made, it's, well, let's not sit on that for the next 6 months. It's like
Yeah.
we need to move.
Yeah. Do you think, off topic a little bit, still woo woo, but knowing your human design well, is going to help you to enable you to make the decisions in the right speed or pace and move from
Yeah,
there?
I
Because
think I think exactly what I was just talking about. We start to understand our own, the way that we're meant to make decisions, and the more we tap in and really understand how to feel them, the better off it is. Because I can feel a yes and I can feel a no instantly now, where I had no idea what that feeling was, 30 years ago. I didn't know what it was. I would know when I'd made a decision wrong down the track, and it's like, oh, I knew that was wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on how I knew that or why, where now I'm a little bit more tuned into it. And you are as well, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because I would know never to ask you to make a decision instantly, because I do know that you're an emotional, and I know that the times that I did ask you to make a decision really, really quickly never, ever went well.
No, no. Well, it's interesting as a couple, and I think, well, I would hope, and maybe more people in their relationships would be like that, to understand their partner, would understand the human design of it. And you introduced me to human design, and it still kind of blows my mind when I read through my chart, and when I'm searching for something, looking at what it actually means and how accurate it is, like insanely accurate as to what I feel, think, behavior wise, where I like to be, and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty crazy. And if you haven't got your human, if anyone's listening and haven't got their human design, you can go to the website, and we do have it there, so you can just put your details in and grab it pretty quick. I
Well,
think you
the
only
other
need,
thing I was going to say is what you're tapping into here is our prosperity code, right?
yeah,
And you and I have our prosperity code with us. Like
hmm,
mine's, if you're seeing this on video, it's right here. I
yep,
literally have it next to me
yeah, it's always on the desk.
in my office to refer to all the time, because for me that is the speed. It's like something, like why did that not work, or whatever it is. And it's just, flip through my prosperity code. Of course, it's just that like really quick reminder of, you're not designed to do it that way. You're not meant to be doing it that way, or that's not the best way to do it. So if you haven't got your prosperity code, just reach out, DM me on Instagram, prosperity code, and I'll send you that tool for free so that you can get your code.
Yeah, yeah,
But yes, we're talking about all of this. Can I just add another little tiny,
of course.
I don't even know what to say. Like when I say tiny, we are also heading into eclipse season. So if you think, wow, we've got all of this like super fast energy, and now we've got eclipse season coming in, and it's like the volume's about to be turned up, or the universe is hitting fast forward on everyone. So, you know, we need to be really, really aware that this energy is around us so it doesn't knock us off our feet, because eclipse energy brings sudden clarity, it brings forced endings, it brings accelerated beginnings, it brings like truth that you can't ignore anymore. So when you've got this, all of these things dropping in, and you've got this energy that's saying, hey, can you make a decision really quickly? Let's put a system around this. Let's be responsible around this. Let's, build something that is built, for longevity. If we're not aware of that, it can really, really catch us off guard. So eclipses, like, it's like eclipse season is like shaking the tree so all the ripe fruit can drop. So what's ready to go, like, go. And what's ready to begin, like, it begins. And so when we connect the dots of all of this energy that's happening, this fire movement, this universal one new cycles, this Saturn in Aries with leadership and responsibility. And then the eclipse season steps in and says, cool, let's like speed that up. Let's put that on, 3x. So the video sounds like,
It's like having a fire and throwing petrol on,
it
isn't
can feel intense.
it?
What was that? Sorry.
It's like having a fire and throwing petrol on it. It's like, let's go.
That is exactly what it is, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because we need to be really, really aware that that's happening. However, like, just to take a breath, and this isn't chaotic energy, it's actually clarifying energy. It's like, yes, we've got this. This is exactly what's happening. It's about making these clean decisions. It's not about saying, oh, maybe, or I'll wait, or let me think about it for another 9 months. It's like,
Yeah.
it's a decide year.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if you're aware of it, then you can really move with it and use it as like a power up, like your 3x power up as well, you know?
Totally is a power up. Is it Mario that you had the power up in?
I'm
I'm
pretty sure they
not.
have it too, though.
I'm not. It's sorry. What was that?
It's probably most video games, but pretty sure they had it.
Okay, you can tell I'm not a gamer at all. I hate gaming.
I don't. I love it.
I know, but that's okay. We're different.
Yep. Yep. So, what about in regards to leadership and
Yep.
what that means as well? Because you're making decisions, we're talking about leadership, and and a lot of the people that we're speaking to now, they're the CEOs of their own businesses. What does that
Yep.
mean for them?
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it right at the beginning. Like, Saturn is the, like, it's time. It's the CEO energy. Like, that, you being the CEO of your business. I don't literally mean it's CEO energy, but it is this energy of, yeah, leading your business. If you're not, you'll feel it. It's this energy is really brutal on avoidance. That's why it's like, make the decision. Saturn rewards responsibility. It's not about, just ideas or intention. Actually, this is what I do want to say. I think that some of the old ways I've seen, like, spiritual businesses, like, over the last kind of 10 years, well, it's probably been the last 9 year cycle, right? Of, really, like, just slowing down and, sit under a tree and journal and stare at the sky and meditate. Like, I think that is actually, I don't think, I know that that is not going to be rewarded. Now, what I'm not saying is, like, just go, 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 go all the time. We must have time out. We must have that journaling time, that thinking time, that CEO time. I love to go and put my feet in salt water. Like, I love to go to the beach every day and just, like, kind of stare out at the ocean. You do need that time to decompress. So please don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. You do need that, but you can't be in that all day, every day, and grow a business that's successful. It's just not going to happen. So it really isn't just about intention or, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, this isn't a gonna year.
Yeah, so
This
no
is a
backseat driving.
responsibility year. What was that? Sorry?
No backseat driving.
No.
Get up
So it's
front,
it's not
grab
a
the wheel,
year.
start steering.
100%. It's a year, this energy is really not going to like hiding. So this is like a visibility year. It's like, come out. But don't just come out and be visible, like come out and be authentically you. Like, what is it that you need to tell the world? What is it that you need to share? What stories do you need to share? Like, if
Mm.
you've been
Yeah,
playing
I love that.
small or being quiet or waiting to feel ready, and you continue in that energy, this year is going to become deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think as well at the moment, with AI and social media and everything goes so fast, but I feel
Mhm.
like what you're saying there about being real and telling the stories, and I think that's more, connecting or being relatable, or I'm not quite sure how you explain that, but I feel like that is the
Totally.
way to show up with, like, visibility wise, is the right way to be showing up in this year.
Totally.
So yeah, yeah.
Totally. I was on interviewed for a podcast last week. I guess that episode will be out in a few weeks. But I was talking about frameworks of leveraging a one to many model, moving from one to many. And for a few of the, I guess, teaching points that I was talking about, I went, let me tell you about a time it didn't work and what I did and what went wrong and how it showed up
Mm,
and what the symptoms were and what that meant. And at the end of the interview, the person who was interviewing me went, holy moly, like I've never really heard anyone that's really lent into sort of saying, hey, I didn't get it all right. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what I believe makes me such a good coach, because I have been there and I have done those things. And what's funny is we can say they were wrong, but in actual fact, what they were learnings, and some of them were really, really deep learnings, which is why I've got such an insight when I'm coaching people, because I know the consequences. I know when you do that, this is what happens. It's not just something I read in a book and maybe forgot or maybe didn't understand. Like, I lived that deeply, and every cell in my body can remember some of those things. And I think that is something that AI can't give. It can
yeah,
tell you something, and maybe in the future it will. I don't know. I'm not really sure where it's going. But right now, that me leaning into those stories of, hey, I did this and this is what happened and this is how I felt and this is how I felt afterwards and this is how I changed it. That is that is how other people learn. Like, storytelling is the oldest form of teaching on the planet,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
how we learn.
But as well, I think, because you have spent quite a number of years in business and in bricks and mortar business as well. So I think the experience you have is huge. I think, and because you're cross pollinating it with online world with bricks and mortar world, which is really cool. Because it's pre-internet almost, really. And
Oh,
then
it
what
was.
what you learnt from them.
Well, I
Well,
think
yeah, it
internet
was.
was
Yeah,
around, but
yeah.
not that
You
I
had to do
knew
letter
of.
drops.
I hadn't.
Like with
Yeah.
paper letter, what's an email? It was a paper letter, So,
Yeah,
um,
totally.
but what you learned though from actually going out there and doing these things, it's not just like you try one thing and see if it works or not. Because in by the pure act of going and trying that thing, you learned more than just that piece of whatever it was you're trying to accomplish. Because there might have been more about resilience, and along the way, more about dealing with people and dealing with customers. And there's probably multifaceted learnings there that you got out of all those things. So sometimes I think you almost learn faster from, like, it not going well.
100%. I think you learn way faster and way more deeply when something doesn't go well than if it goes right. I think when something goes wrong, it speeds your learning up.
Yeah, Yeah. But in saying that as well, I think that's why you need to have a good coach. So you take those learnings, you learn faster. So, so that's what
100%.
I'm
100%. It's
saying
why
that.
we have coaches, and we have
Hmm.
coaches in multiple areas of our
Yep.
life because, you know, I'm an Aries and I like to do things fast. So it's like, what's the fastest way? Be guided by someone that's done it before you or does it better. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were having a discussion over the weekend, I think it was, about what this current energy means for all of us. But I think, particularly for me, what I was interested in was building of infrastructure, like that, the planning, the
Hmm.
systems, the putting the structures in place, and the importance of that. So
Hmm.
I don't know how far this cycle goes, but I think getting started on that for me was actually a big thing.
Yeah, well, this is the first year, so universal 1 year and a 9 year cycle. So this is building the foundations for this next 9 year cycle. And so the fact that we've got Saturn in Aries and helping us with our systems, with our structure, with our offers, with our team clarity. I mean, we know all this stuff, and without even thinking about it, how different has this year been for us and our team compared to any year that I can remember for a really long time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we are just like, everything is systems and structure and boundaries and containers, and like, it's very, very different energy.
Yeah, but I even feel like the things that we already had, in place have even tightened up, like this, the system structures that were in place have got even more tighter, like everything's like being kind of refined and gaining efficiencies out of everything we do. So yes, there's new ones
Mm.
being built. There's also ones that are being refined. So I think about it that way, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah, and makes sense that our word of the year is precision, because I think that's exactly what it is. It's like, exactly what are we doing? Exactly what are we cutting away? Exactly what are we entering or adding? It's refinement, but it's with precision. It's not just like wildly yielding this like heavy sword around and just like letting it flop anywhere. It's like, I think about it like a samurai. It's like absolute like clarity. That was my dance teacher side coming out then. We do sounds for everything, just in case you didn't know, Leon.
I had wondered that.
My dance students used to laugh because I'd be like, "Adam, ba, cha-chung, cha," and they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, we know exactly what you mean."
Got it. Well, makes sense,
Exactly.
right?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So getting back into it, what you this year, this is the things that we need to avoid. This year will be really difficult if you do chase every idea. If you are doing things like rebranding constantly or changing your offer all the time or starting things and never finishing them. I saw an awesome Instagram reel over the weekend. It's a creator that I follow who is neurospicy and has this really modern take on astrology, and I just love him. And he was like, for we were just talking about Saturn in Aries, and he was saying, Aries is all about, oh, we might start that a million times over and we might never finish it. And so this is this time for Aries. It's like, well, okay, let's try something different. For the first time, you are going to play it through and you are going to finish it. And he was kind of saying, and Aries, you're so used to saying, oh, yeah, but I move at a million miles an hour and I don't finish things. And he's like, go on, finish it and see how you feel. You might actually be surprised and be like, wow, that feels really good. And
Yes,
I'm
I did see that one.
feeling that energy of,
Mm.
actually, you know what? I'm going to stick it. And I think that I am like this, though, Leon. I'm pretty sure you say I do like to see things through. I hate things being unfinished. It really annoys me. Even if I hate to finish them and it drives me wild, I'm like, I have to finish this. But when you do, it's such a good feeling afterwards. It's like, I did that. I did
Yeah.
that. That feels so good.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a couple of things here. I did see that reel because you did send it to me because,
I
well,
did.
we do that thing where you sit in the lounge and you send like reels to each other. So, um,
We're meme
um,
dealers.
yeah, that's it. That's it. And I did quite like it. One of the things I mentioned too, though, is your human design doesn't mean you got to do it all yourself. So you can get it finished,
100%.
but get it finished, but you don't have to do it all yourself. So you can still finish it.
That is just such wise advice. Absolutely. It doesn't mean that you have to do something so you absolutely hate it. Although I am going to say, as a business owner, I actually think that sometimes, well, there are times we have to do things that we don't enjoy. And even when we don't enjoy them, it can still be enjoyable when you actually get them done.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I think there's a difference though between not being comfortable with something or not enjoying it, and something that you really shouldn't be doing. There's probably need to
Yeah.
discern what is going on there. So I
Yeah,
think be
totally.
careful with that.
Totally. Yeah, because this fire energy that we're talking about and talking about, starting things and finishing, I think it's really important to remember that fire can cook your food. It can also burn your house down.
That's
Right?
so good.
So, like, kind of know how you're using
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, using it the right way.
Yeah. So I think that with everything that we're talking about, I mean, it's always a time for reflection, but some things that you can use to reflect now, it's like, what am I no longer available for? What clearly isn't working anymore? What decision have I been delaying? What wants to begin? Like, what's sitting there, like, waiting patiently, or what has been waiting patiently to begin? And is it time to, like, make a decision and do it? Because the eclipse season is incredible for ending misaligned offers, releasing draining clients, clarifying direction, like initiating those bold moves that you've been wanting to make, that have been like gnawing at you, and it's time to do them. So it's not a passive year, it's not a maintenance year, it's not a let's see year, it's a decide year, it's an initiate year, it's a time to move year, it's a leading year, it's asking us to step into our leadership. So, yeah, that's the energy. I'm going to guess that's what you're feeling. So, allow it to move through you and make those decisions, and put your CEO big girl panties on and do
Or big boy
it.
panties, whichever you want to go with it. As
Uh,
well, I'm going to call it a season. As a season ends and one season begins,
yeah.
I think I noticed that there was endings, there was clearing, and me not being as in touch with the energy forecast as yourself. I was mentioning things to you, and you were like, "Well, that's interesting because this is what's happening." And there was a lot of finalizing stuff, or letting go of things that didn't serve. Um,
Yes.
even, you know, I started clearing some stuff out of the office. Not that you can tell at the moment because half's got cleared out, and half it isn't, but cleared out. But yeah, it started that clearing process. So there was things that we decided that we were going to let go of, and
Yeah.
that kind of lined, and it actually really lined up with the new season. So, and I think if you've sometimes you need to go with the flow of what it feels like. Clear out what you need to clear out, and then lean into the next phase of it. So the next season.
Well, I think the really important part of that is you're unable to bring new things in unless you clear the space for those new things to come in. And when I think about some of the offers that we let go of last year in multiple businesses, we've got multiple businesses, and we changed our offers in all of them. And especially, like, really what I'm thinking about is in our agency, where we got really clear of, like, this is who we want to come in. And then all of a sudden, like, just like woof, as soon as we cleared out what we didn't want, the speed and the velocity with what showed up was incredible. And that's the energy. you've got to do the work to be able to leverage that energy. So, yeah, it's been fun talking about this with you, Leon.
Yeah, and you could probably talk all day about it as well, because when you start digging into it, like there's a lot, and it's really cool.
Yeah, there is a lot, and it is really cool. And considering that when we met, how many years ago now? 11 years ago, and I said something about an energy forecast, and you're like, a what? And now
What are you
you'll
talking
text
about?
me if you're out and about saying, "Can you just read the energy forecast? Such and such has happened." I'm
Yeah.
like, "You're a changed man, Leon."
Yeah, well, I don't think it's just me, because I know some of our clients also like to message us and go, "What's going on today?"
Exactly. It's because it's real. So I think the energy is like our weather forecast. We want to know, do we need to take an umbrella? Do we need to take our swimmers with us? What are we doing? And yeah, that's what's happening right now. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thanks for hanging out with us here again. Thanks for chatting about this topic, Leon, with me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. I'm not woo woo, but
Ciao.